he has to say.
You've certainly changed the game of basketball. Now they say with the lawsuit, you've changed the sport of basketball. Is that
Well, I got a lot of people. This sport is unsafe. God. Yeah.
they were doing
wake up some people to understand what they're actually doing is wrong. And I've been a fan. It's not like I just woke up and said, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna attack basketball. I've been involved in
that got everybody's attention. Tell me you're thinking about, I'm going to go to basketball. And were you nervous?
I think that overall this is a structural problem. It's not hard for me personally to believe that the individuals involved in NASCAR face discrepancy as it relates to earnings or financial standings. I'm sure you've seen the political cartoon at some point where there's a pipe, or a pipeline, almost like an underground pipeline that's pouring out water, and there's one hefty guy in a suit drinking up all the water, and then there are much smaller individuals almost fighting for droplets that are splashing out of the hefty guy's mouth. That's what this is like, or at least that's how I visualize this. And as I said, it's a structural problem with society. I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine about wrestling entertainment, WWE. I don't watch it too much nowadays, but I was a bigger fan when I was a child. I think my friend, he's still a fan of that and some of the other companies that are out there in that business. And we were talking about how so many wrestlers have a story where at one point they were a household name, on top of the craft, on top of the world. And then by the time they reached middle age or retirement age, they were, figuratively speaking, begging for crumbs, begging for pennies. And it's sad to see, it's sad to say, but it's a reality that many people face outside of wrestling entertainment. There are people who work years for plants, or maybe different corporations. I'm thinking of people who work like assembly lines and things like that. And by the time they went to retire, whoop, we don't have any retirement for you. And it's sad. It's sad. So in this case, we tie it back to Michael Jordan. It's good to see that some ground was made, at least in one of these industries, to make things a bit more fair, to create, I guess, some sort of baseline. I'm not completely informed about the nature of the changes that will be made, but it seems like a step in the right direction. I believe that that's clear to see. At the same time, I see the other side. I don't think every corporation, every big corporation is inherently evil and just wants to leech off of those who are working and feeding into it. A number of these companies almost went bankrupt before they became big. It's one of those situations where the people who are really supporting the system have to make do with receiving less because there's nothing there. I believe with the WWE, Vince McMahon almost went bankrupt betting on his business and following his vision for then the WWF. But I think the problem lies at the point where resources widen up and become available. It's at that point where those who are really putting in the work from the bottom level should be, to some degree, included on the proceeds. But I don't know if people are ready to have that conversation or to even discuss that. As I said, it's just one of those things. You can point out different industries. UFC. I'm not saying that they're a bad company. Dana White. I think he's a cool guy from what I've seen. You may say, well, you know, those UFC fighters, don't they get about 20 grand a fight, 30 grand? But how many fights do they have in a year? That would be my rebuttal. It's not much money if you're fighting twice a year, and if you're lucky to get 2 fights. But as I said, in the case of Michael Jordan and NASCAR, it's great to see some sort of progress, some sort of help for the little guy, the little man, to even things out. If you like this video, don't be afraid to hit that hype. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.